So this is an upgraded version of my first video. Probably I'm not sure what video was it. Yeah, I don't know what video was it called, but this is an upgraded version of me teaching you Scratch. So let's get started. So first on the list would be move 10 steps. So this one is easy. The sprite moves 10 steps. Yeah, blah blah blah. Quite basic. Next is the turn block. So instead of it pointing in the direction you're telling, it's turning it's adding in the direction. Like look, turn, yeah. And now if it was point, look, let me put this in 15 real quick. Look, 15 is right over here, and the turn 15 turns by 15 degrees. Okay, it's like an angle. It's not like which direction it's supposed to point in. Next on the list is turn. Yeah, so what they mean by these stuff, yeah, like it's here and then now this one is here, yeah. So this one it turns by this direction. So look, turn left by 15 degrees. There, so this is what this thing does, and now if I press this, it points turns in the other direction. So they just both are the similar, they're just different turns. Go to random position. Yeah, this is goes to a random position. I want to go here. It didn't go there because it's a random position. Now there's the next one here, which is mouse pointer. Yeah, go to mouse pointer. This means that it's supposed to go to the mouse pointer. So first let me get the green flag real quick. So the green flag is when you press this thing, which is like the start thing. Now let me grab the forever block. Get it set forever. Working. Look, see, it's going to my mouse pointer. This is my mouse, and yeah, it's going to it. So this is what the go to mouse pointer does. So let's get this green flag removed, because we will learn that later. Next on the list is go to x position -24. Yeah, so this is the value of so imagine there's a grid. Yeah, so there's like a grid. Imagine on the lines, we depend on the lines, not in the squares or grids. That's how grids are. So go to x position. So the x position is left to right. So this is the 0 position of x. There. So this is the 0 position of x. Now if you want to go right over here to the left, then you can just go put it as negative. So -15. I don't know why do I keep putting 15 anyways. So enter. Wait. Now press. Look, I go to this position. Now it's a little bit to the left. Now without this thing, yeah, without the negative. See, now it went to a little bit to the middle, kind of like the middle, but yeah, it's not the middle though. Now next we have the Y position. That's what we're going to talk about now. So Y position is up and down. So if you want it to go up, then it has to be positive, which has no sign, just a number. So I want 50. Yeah, 50 would be good. Enter. There. Now I want up because it's 50 and it's not negative. And if I put -50, let me put -50. There. Now one's down. That's because down is negative, up is positive, and left is negative, and right left is negative, yeah, and right is positive. See, this is what the go-to thing does. You can go to a random position, not a random position, a specific position. I meant, yeah. Now glide 1 second to random position. So this 1 second, I didn't really learn about it right now. I will learn it later. Oh no, actually no, I did learn it, yeah. So it goes to a random position and waits for 1 second. So this is a random position. Yeah, it's gonna glide to a random position. So this means it goes to a random position. It doesn't teleport there. Look, they go to random position. See, it teleports. Teleports. It doesn't move. Now if I go glide 1 second to random position, look, it moves instead of teleporting like kaboom. It just moves. So yep, this is the glide 1 second to random position. Yeah, if you want to go more slower, I'll put 5. Let's see, it's moving very slow. So this is what it does. Yeah. There's also this mouse pointer one, so yeah, let me just go get those stuff. Then now I'm gonna go to the mouse pointer and let me put this as 1 second so that's a little bit speeder. Now the green flag, which is the start, look. It's going to my mouse pointer. If you might have remembered my little fuzzy cat thing near that video, you might have remembered that it was like the same thing, and when the mouse pointer is touching the cat's head, yeah. If you don't know that part, then yeah, you can just ignore it anyways. So I'm just gonna go keep this as a tool for now. So now next on the list is pointing direction. So no, actually glide 1 second to a specific direction. It goes to a specific direction. So I want it to glide to 0, 0, which is the center, like perfectly center. I mean 0, 0. Now let me go put it in the corner. Look. Now if I go press this, it's going to the center. Look, perfectly centered. Now if I press it again, it's not going to do anything because it's already perfectly centered. Let's do that again. Yeah, it's like specific on the expression in Y position. So now next on the list is point in direction now. So this one is quite interesting. So it points in the direction you're talking about. So I want it to point in this direction, okay? Imagine. Now let me press. Look, it's pointing in that direction exactly. Now I want it to point at... Wait, this might... Yeah, I want it to point at the green flag. Just estimate it, okay? So I'm not perfectly correct or wrong. It's quite similar. So now... Oh yeah, it's kind of looking at the green flag. Okay, yeah. We're not aiming or like something like... we're not talking about scopes or something about guns. Yeah, let's not talk about that right now. So now point in direction after it. So yep, we already learned the point in direction. Point in the direction you wanted, or you can just also type it in numbers. So yep, next would be points towards the mouse pointer. So this is quite interesting. Let's use it with this green flag and forever tool. I'll teach you those tools later. It's not quite of a tool, I'm just telling you. So now look, it's forever pointing at my mouse pointer. You see this white cursor? Yeah, this is called the mouse pointer. Now look, it's looking at it. Hello, me. So yep, this is how that works. Now keep moving instead of pointing towards. Let's go to the next one. So it is change X. Where? Let's go up real quick. There. So change X by. So this is not going to the position. It's adding the position. So imagine it's here, yeah. Change X by. Look, it's right. It's going right. If we keep pressing this, it will keep moving. Look. Yeah, that's probably like 100 steps to that place. Okay. So this is the change X bar. It's not going to here. Now set X to. So this is like only one time use. You know what I mean, right? So it's now going to the 12th position. Why not? I'll go center it. 0. Look, now it's centered. But it wouldn't keep moving. It's not adding the position. It's going to the position. So the position is 0, which is in the center. So it's going to go to the position instead of adding the position. So the Y. So change Y actually. So change Y by 10. So yeah, this goes up, like adds the position, but on y. Oh, so the other next one, set y to 135, which means it's going to a specific position. Just like set x to, it's going to the position. Okay. Now, why do you say these stuff are separated? Well, the people might only want to go to like left and right only. Yeah, that's right. So that's why it's like that. It only wants to go to, you know, they want to separate it so that they only change one of them. So change the y only. I want it to go up. Okay. Okay. I only wanted to go up, not left or right. So there, see? So that's why those blocks are separated. They're just exactly like, the top block right over here. Go to this stuff, yeah. So now next is if on edge bounce. So this thing is quite easy when it's on the edge. So yep, let's go do that real quick. You go on the little edge, kitty. Now let me press this. When I press this block, yeah, it's gonna go do a little bounce. So let's see that real quick. See, I went up a little bit because if it is on the edge, then it's supposed to bounce. So yep, quite easy. Now I'm set rotational style. So left, right, don't rotate all around. So this is quite cool. So imagine you're wanting it to point in a direction. So yeah, let me just go to the point in direction block again. So I wanted to point in 90 direction. Look, it's perfect. If I wanted to point in negative 90, yep, it's flipped upside down. So the solution for this is getting the set rotational style. So now it's left, right. That means it's pointing at this direction. Now if I wanted not to rotate forever, no. Now if I wanted to point in a direction like right over here, point in direction, see it's not working. That's because it's forever in setting the rotational style, so it's not rotating anymore. All around, it can go spin, point up, points here, just like the same thing. So I'm just going to choose this now. See, now it's upside down again like last time. So this is the solution if you don't want that to happen. Here just to fix it back again to its last time. And don't rotate, it wouldn't rotate. It just disables the understood, right? It disables the rotation, so now it can rotate. Now just the exposition. Variable elements, yeah, it's kind of like a variable. So yeah, exposition is negative, yeah. Okay, this thing is actually specific. Can you not see this? Negative 9.99999. Okay. So yeah, this thing, if I put it to the center, so yeah, to put it in the center, of course, go to 0, 0. So let me go put in 0. There. Now, it's the x position and the y position is supposed to be 0. So now if I press on the x position, look, it's telling 0. Same on the y position. Now the so it like finds, and if you see these check boxes, that means it finds the x position. So if I put it here, this is the x position, this is the y position. I don't know why is it that specific, 40.9999999999999999997. Okay, yeah, I don't know why it's like that anyways. So yeah, you learned that already. So now let's continue with the direction. So direction finds which direction you're pointing at. So imagine it points towards the mouse pointer. Now it's supposed to do this forever. So depending on my mouse pointer's thing, it's gonna point at it. So look, isn't this quite cool? Because I had this don't rotate thing, yeah, it's already on. It still changes the angle but doesn't turn. At least not rotate. But does turn, look, left and right only, not up and down. So let me go disable that and then you'll see it more clearly. So where the heck was that block really quick? maybe, yep, now left to right, no. Yeah, all around, there. Not quite perfect, green flag, yeah, probably would be more better, all around, green flag. There now, it's resettled. So look, it's pointing on my mouse pointer. It's not, it's pointing at my mouse pointer. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. It's disabled, so it still was changing the angle, but it wasn't doing that movement. So yeah, I guess the direction will finish. Now it's with the looks. So with the looks, you can say hello. It's for text. So get there. What the heck? So I wanted to say G, yeah, for 2 seconds. If I want this to be 5 seconds, then it's gonna say G for 5 seconds. So yeah, let's go do that again. Restart. Green flag, but will do nothing. Now for 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess my counting wasn't that specific. People doesn't really count that speed, doesn't count that slow. I am a speed one, that's why. Yeah, I'm set to my speed one. Now, this is also the same thing, but though it's forever. So look, say hello. There, now it's saying hello. But is it gonna do anything else? No. Just gonna go stay right over there. No changes until you put blah blah blah. And now this is a change. But the problem is that there's no seconds to delete it. Yeah. Now this is the thing come, so it's like the thing, But it adds these 2 dots, which makes it looks like more like thinkish. Yeah, I don't know what did I just tell? Thinkish. What does that mean, anyways, guys? You might have understood that. So yeah, changes how it looks like. Look. Now there's these 2 dots, which kind of quite looks like it makes the scratch card look like it's thinking. So yeah, the switch costume. Yeah, let me just go. So switch costume. So if you ever knew, there's a costume for scratch card. So these are the 2 costumes. Okay, we're going to costumes. Press costumes. This costume 1 and costume 2. Costume 1, you can name it. Costume 2, yeah. So that I want to name costume 2 as cost. So now the name is cost. That means switch the costume to cost and costume 1. Like that. So I wanted to switch costume into cost. This is costume cost. This is costume 1. There, this is costume 1. Yeah, so probably fix Mr. Scratch Cat's quite getting busy. Yeah, now his head is split over. Now look, see? Costume 1, now cost. Now if you ever knew there's animations for this stuff, you'd be quite surprised. So next is the next costume, which we're supposed to looking for. Look, it's kind of going 2 speeds, so that's why we'll be adding this wait thing. Wait 1 second. Now I bet you'll go understand this like 1 second. 0.1. Then now it's moving. It's like next costume. Wait for 0.1 second, and then does the next costume. Look, it quite looks like it's running. Just you need some movement. So when I go add the movement, just so that it looks like we're animated. See? Look, looks quite cool, right? Okay, so now we learn the next costume. Now we'll switch to backdrop. So imagine you want a backdrop. So I will go add 2 backdrops. So this will be the Arctic and this will be backdrop 1. So what will this do? Well, you will see. So now you want the backdrop to switch, okay? Look. So now you can change the backdrop. Arctic backdrop 1 and then Arctic. And then there's also this next backdrop, because there's no next backdrop backdrop block. I think so. There was one. They have literally such foolish memory. Okay, and now next backdrop, Oh yeah, wait, there is a block. That thing was in front of my eyes. Okay, so I guess so. This next backdrop was useless. Previous backdrop, random backdrop. At least these stuff are useful. So next backdrop, it goes to the next backdrop. So this is what we learned today in Lux. Not fully. We need some stuff to learn plus. So change size by 1. So I want this cat, yeah, Mr. Sprite 1, Mr. Cat, to change their size by 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 plus. Hey, that's going too good. Good. So then go change the size back to 100. No, that's 1000. Then. Now it's back to its original size. So it adds its size, which is quite understandable. Set size, so and I want this to be 220. 220. There. Now it's this big. You're just setting it. You're not adding it. So now set color. So set color affected by 25. So this means change the color. And now there's one cool thing. 3, 2, 1, get ready, and it's looking beautiful. You're not that beautiful because it's not smooth. So why not we go put it as 1? We'll see how beautiful now it will look. See? It looks quite... Okay, that looks really beautiful. I'm not joking. Imagine colors actually changing like that. Now why not put it as 5? They're now going more speeder. So yeah, it's changing, like adding. Or set color, just sets. Now there's also some other stuff in color like fish eye. Yes, so I'll put it to 5. But this is what fish eye does. That might be probably. No, this is set. No, I was supposed to get changed. So fish eye. Yeah, this is what fish eye does. Okay, graphic settings. Yeah, I'll change this to 5 so that's not that speed. So this is the clear graphic settings, it slows. No, you can just go reset the graphics and look. This is what the fish eye is. This is the world is, there. It twists the body, RIP cats, no joke. Okay, that actually quite looks really scary. Yeah, probably I don't want to see that. So clear the graphic settings. Stop doing that. Okay, pixelate. So you make the cat pixelated, okay? Look. Is that a little bit too much pixelated? Okay, yeah, let me change it by 1. The pixelate's quite speed. Okay, look. No, you just go delete the pixels, but the pixels, change the color. Yeah, this is what pixelated does. Yeah, I know it looks really weird, it's no joke. It looks really weird in the end, no joke. So now let's go clear the graphics settings. Please stop, RIP cats. Now mosaic, I don't know this effect, so yep, let's go clear the graphic settings. Look. Okay, this is what the mosaic does. How far can it go? That's my question. Wait, is this infinity? Wait, I think so that's infinity. Yeah, that's actually quite hurting my eyes. Yeah, let's go change the brightness. So now, look, it's... Yeah, I think so some of you might have known of me. You are my sunshine. Okay, why are we talking about that meme? Okay, yeah, see? Oh, by the way, one of my friends told me summoning LeBron James one time in school, It was actually quite funny. Okay, now next would be ghosts. So yeah, look, ghost turning literally invisible. There. But that thing is not visible for you. Okay, yeah. Now clear the graphic settings. Yeah, we're not playing with those stuff anymore. Now next is the show thing. The scratch cat is already showing now. I wanted to hide. There, look at hide. Now it's hiding. Show, hide, show, hide, show, hide, show. Wait, this might actually hurt your eyes. I just want to go and do it for no reason. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Guys, it seems so it might actually crash out my laptop. I mean, yeah, this thing's almost older than me, no joke. I'm gonna go to the front layer, so let me go add some stuff now. Hey, you get visible there. Now, look, the scratch cat is now blocking the apple. Isn't that's a big problem? If I put it as back, yes. Now that means the apple would go front. Now if the apple wants to go back, so yeah, there's this go front. We'll go back. Now look, now the apple is back. Now the cat is back. Okay, what are you playing right now? Not the baby. Okay. Now next is go forward by one layer. So imagine there's a lot of sprites. I didn't expect it coming. Now I have to go put them back again. So imagine there are 3 sprites. So then forward and backward wouldn't always work. So look, you want this girl to be back. So then you go to the first layer. No, backward. So now it's backward of the scratch cat. Now I want it to go forward. There, now it's forward of the scratch cat, but not in the baseball. Now it's forward by the baseball. Now the baseball is back. Now, you understood, right? I hope that won't happen. Yeah, there. So this is the costume number. So let me delete this stuff. I'm gonna just go delete the sprite. I'll also delete the code anyways. So yeah, now it's the costume number. So you can find the costume number. So this is costume number 1 or 2. Costume number 1. So this is costume number 1. Costume number 2. So this is 1. This is 2. Now let me add another one. This is 3. Let me add another one. And what are we doing? Yeah, this is number 4. So this is how this works. So this is how to find the costume number. Now with the name, it's quite interesting. Costume 3. Look, now I want the costume name to be. I'll put it as Coated. What the heck is that name anyway? So now look, Coated. So this is the costumes right now. I mean, yeah, this costume's invisible. So yeah, now that's what we learned. So let me just go delete that. We're not done yet. Okay. So now next is the backdrop number. You can find the backdrop number. So yeah, let me see the backdrop. This is backdrop number 1. And this is number 2. So it's quite like the sprite one. It's quite like the sprites, but it's backdrops. So yeah, we're going to learn that again. Size. You can find the size. So the scratch cat is 220. I want it to be 2. That's probably too small. Can you see that? Okay, that's very invisible. Now size is 5. I mean, yeah, 2 is lesser than the minimum size. So yeah, the minimum size is 5. So that's why it's 7 to 5 instead of 2. So yeah, for the scratch gonna play meow sound. I think you heard that. Yeah, it plays a sound which is meow. So yeah, that's for today, guys. I think just motion and looks are quite good. You don't need to learn anything else. Like the sounds, those stuff we will learn next time. Okay, so not today. Yeah. So goodbye, guys. See you and have a great time. Bye.